Hey y'all, Iric Sky here, and I wanted to give you a first impressions review of this LG monitor. It's 4K monitor, 3840 by 2160 resolution, and you can check the link within this video's description to find where to order it online, as well as the cable that I'm using. This is the 2017 MacBook Pro, and obviously this has USB-C ports, but I've got a cable that goes USB-C to DisplayPort, and it looks great. Now you can check out my previous videos. I ran an iMac with Retina 5K since late 2014, and great machine, great display, but you know, after running a computer for several years, even though it was still fast, you hit the point to where there's some more current CPU technologies available. So for that reason, I converted to the MacBook Pro. But when I'm in the studio, I still want a huge display since I don't have the 5K iMac with Retina display. So I picked this one up, and my first impressions are highly favorable. I mean, you can see here this photo that I snapped. That's a drone photo that I snapped of an island, and it looks really good. I'll go into Adobe Lightroom. You can see that Sean Connery, just very good color. If you know, having used the 5K iMac for many years, like I said, 2014 until I used that up until January of 2018. So I used it for several years, so my eyes were very used to looking at that very nice Apple 5K display. So to jump from 5K to 4K, I can say I can tell a tiny difference, but it's very very insignificant. So I'm super impressed with the image quality of this display. Again, I'm not a gamer. I do a lot of photo editing and video editing, so you know, I pretty much live in Final Cut Pro 10. So to be able to edit my videos, here's one of the videos that I just edited. It was the first time connecting this LG monitor to my 2017 MacBook Pro. You can check the link within this video's description and find that video if you want to watch it. But you know, to be able to have this much desktop real estate is super nice. Obviously, I could pop open my MacBook Pro and I could do an extended display type mode, but this is how I prefer to work. I just want one monitor, and I can do everything I need to do on one 27-inch monitor. And I realize people have different preferences as far as how they architect their workflow, but for me, this is plenty of desktop real estate. So yeah, the colors are very nice. Obviously, if I'm editing a video or if I'm editing a photo, I can see the color saturation. I mean, there's nothing about this display that I did. Well, it's not a dislike, but it's more of a less than positive comment, and that's the bezel around it. It's a shiny black. I would have preferred if they had made that a like a matte black that doesn't have the gloss to it. I mean, that's just nitpicking right there. I think the joystick on the bottom of the monitor that you push, there's mixed opinions about this, but my opinion is that it's super intuitive. I feel where I'm going. I feel what I'm going to change. This brightness level, by the way, is only 73%. From the factory, I got it at, it was at 100. But for my eyes, I found 73% to be perfectly acceptable. So it's just a really nice interface, in my opinion, to get around the monitor. It's just right there. And it's worth mentioning that to turn this monitor on, you push the joystick. So instead of navigating with the joystick, you just push it from the bottom like you're pushing it up. And that was a quick learning curve. But yeah, the display is super sharp. A lot of people ask, like, hey man, you've got MacBook Pro 2017, you know, that's a USB-C laptop. Why did you not go with an LG that does USB-C? Well, you know, again, check the link within this video's description to look at the current pricing, and you may find that this monitor may be significantly less expensive than the versions that have, or at least at the time of posting this video, you may find that it's significantly less expensive than the versions of this monitor that have USB-C. So I use this cable, and you can find it within this video's description, but it just goes from my MacBook Pro to the DisplayPort in the back of this monitor. And that's something else I wanted to comment about. It's nice using the DisplayPort, but now I've got two HDMI ports that are available as well. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. So if I wanted to switch, let's say I had a PC or a Mac Pro or something in the future, I could connect those devices to the HDMI ports, and then I could share one monitor among 3 computers if I wanted to. So that's really neat. And likewise, if I want to go multi-monitor with this, I could just get another one of these and stick it over here, and then, you know, do the cable thing again on my MacBook Pro, and I could have 2 screens. But I mean, the image quality is great. Again, I'm not a gamer, so I can't attest to the gaming performance. A lot of I know for gamers, you know, if you're especially if you're playing like first-person shooter games, FPS, and there's a lot of movement. Sometimes if you don't have a, I think it's called the response time or whatever. But this does have something called AMD FreeSync, so I think it's, you know, check the link within this video's description for details. But I think it's been made with gamers in mind. So, but yeah, I mean the image quality is super sharp. I didn't have to perform any sort of color calibration. You know, it looks like this out of the box. Something I want to do is just show you the quality of this display. I'm pulling open a blank notepad document here. It's just a white, you know, white area, so you can see. And this video is in 4K, so if you're watching with a 4K compatible display, crank it up to see all the details. But I mean, I moved this around, and I don't see any stuck or dead pixels, which is incredible. So, you know, there was another brand of monitor that I was considering that it was about $100 less at the time I got this one. But, you know, after reading the reviews and after using my 4K smart TV is an LG also, and it's just been a super solid performer. So, you know, I'm glad I picked this up. Again, my first impressions are extremely favorable. The only minor gripe that I have right now is just this, you know, this bezel right here. I wish it wasn't shiny, but it doesn't distract from the image on the screen. So, you know, it's not a bad thing. It's just a minor gripe. So I wouldn't. Another thing worth mentioning: this base seems to be a very high quality, and you can check out my unboxing and assembly video. It was super simple to put all this together, and it is worth mentioning, though, as far as tilting's concerned, it is pretty much how it is if you're mounting it on the included base. But it does have a Visa style mount, so if you have something in your office or your home or wherever that's wall mount, you could mount this monitor to the wall using a Visa mount. So that's a major convenience. But for my use, you know, I'm just sticking my MacBook Pro right in front of it when I want to work with a big screen. And I don't need to tilt this. It's perfect for me. But again, it may not be perfect for you, so take that into consideration. But I liked how it just had a power cable, just like a standard PC style power cable, you know, the black cable that has the plug on one end and the plug on the other that goes into the wall. There was no power brick or anything like that to take up space on the floor. So that was a positive. But yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm not going to say I'm blown away with the image quality, because again, I came from using a late 2014 iMac with Retina 5K display, which was also 27-inch. So my eyes were used to that, and again, with that being the case, like I said, the image quality difference is negligible at best. And I will say that I did notice, and I don't notice it now because I'm already becoming immune to the visual difference. But when I first turned this on, when I really looked at it closely, I noticed that it wasn't quite as sharp as the iMac with Retina 5K display. But now that I've been using it for a few hours, it's or not even a few hours. I've been using it for probably about a half hour or hour. You know, it feels the same as the iMac 5K Retina did now that I've gotten used to it. So again, iMac Retina 5K display is a little bit sharper, but now I've got the convenience of having a monitor that I can plug my MacBook Pro into. If I get a Mac Pro, I can plug it in. If I build a PC, I could plug it in. So it provides a lot of flexibility. And when I was shopping for this, I also looked at the LG has a monitor. I think it's either 42 or 43, but when I was looking at my desktop space, because I am in a corner here, you know, the 40-inch, because this is 27, if I was 40, I'd be more forward with it, which would put me in a situation where I'd have my laptop off to one of the sides, and then my keyboard and my Magic, what do they call it, the Magic Touchpad 2, or what, I may have misbadged that, but it's the current model Apple trackpad. I would have had that kind of congested, and then my eyes would have been closer to the monitor. So for my workspace, this monitor is absolutely perfect. It's not too big. It's just the right size. I've got my speakers on the side. You know, I'm set up, and when I'm ready to go out into the field and film videos for Our Skies Adventure channel, that's where you're watching this video right now, I just unplug these USB-C cables and I go on my way. And that's one thing I did, since this monitor does not have a USB-C port. That would be an advantage to having an LG monitor with USB-C port, is that most of those at least, will charge your laptop while your laptop is using it as a monitor. Obviously since this does not have a USB-C port, I've also got my power adapter plugged into my MacBook Pro, so I'm not getting any sort of power from the monitor. But is that worth potentially a few $100s of price difference? You know, that's something you'd have to figure out. It's not for me, and that's why I went with this one. But I mean, this image quality is, let's load up some tropical scenery here. Let's go to St. Martin. So I mean, if you're using it for video editing, photo editing, you know, I think you'll find that this display is more than acceptable. I don't see how someone could be of a different opinion. And I'm basing that coming from what is likely the best in class solution, and that was the the iMac with 5K Retina. But the disadvantage to that is that I had a 5K display that was permanently mated to that hardware. So, you know, I couldn't use it as a display for other purposes. It was mated to the internals, which were, you know, Intel CPU, Intel motherboard from late 2014. So with it being 2018, that hardware is pretty old now. I mean, it was still, when I built the computer, when I had it custom configured from Apple, it was top of the line, obviously. I did i7 and this, that, and the other to better future-proof it, but I mean, what I'm running now is just this little MacBook Pro, and it's only it's only an i5, but it's fast. It does what I need to do. But yeah, just look at the color saturation, just the overall image quality. I mean, I'm beyond stoked. And would I buy this again? I definitely would buy it again. And again, I've only used it for a little bit over a half hour, but as long as it holds up from a build quality perspective and it doesn't encounter any sort of catastrophic failures, then I'll be a happy camper. And then again, to reiterate, I've got two HDMI ports on the back that I don't have anything plugged into right now. I'm just using the DisplayPort by way of DisplayPort to USB-C cable that you can find within this video's description as well. And but yeah, it's super nice. It is super nice. I'm very happy, and I'll be sure to post a follow-up video, but I just wanted to get the first impressions after using for a little bit over a half hour. You know, check out the unboxing video and assembly video where I take it out of the box and assemble it. Check out the video where I connect it to the MacBook Pro for the first time, and you can see the initial challenges that I encountered, and then they weren't they weren't issues. It was just knowing that I had to power on the monitor. You know, just some common sense stuff. So yeah, but it looks good, and I don't think anyone would. I mean, I don't know if you've used this monitor. Have you had a less than positive experience, and if so, why? Because I dug and dug from a research perspective before I made the purchase. You know, I had two requirements. I had it had to be inexpensive, and it had to be good quality. And to put those two requirements together makes one's options pretty limited. And you know, but I'm glad I went with this instead of a competitor's monitor. Which what made me go with this over the competitor's monitor that was about $100 less at the time I purchased this was that the competitor's monitor, there were several reports that it had overheated, and that concerns me because I don't want to, you know, I don't want any sort of potential fire hazard. I can tell you so far the temperature, I don't notice any hot spots on this, so that's a positive. And the competitor's monitor, it was something I'd used, and I still have one of their old 1080p TVs, and it's been rock solid. So I may have been just as good with it as the LG, but you know, LG's been putting out some solid stuff, and it's not necessarily isolated to monitors. I mean, LG is it's a quality company from, you know, from my perspective. But yeah, just wanted to share this. Hopefully this video provided some value for y'all. Again, it is in 4K Ultra HD, so if you watch this in 4K, you can see all the detail. But I'm impressed, and again, I'm using it with 2017 MacBook Pro. I'm going 2017 MacBook Pro USB-C to DisplayPort. And again, check the link within this video's description to find the monitor and the cable that I'm using, and also my unboxing / assembly video and my first time connecting to the Mac 2017 MacBook Pro video. And I'll also, you know, I'll do follow-up reviews and that sort of stuff. So just save that link and share with others, because this is, I'm very happy. And you know, what makes me the most happy is that it didn't break the bank. I mean, this is rock solid in my opinion for an affordable price. So thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe. YouTube.com/IRIXGuy. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, IRIXGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.